Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we are going to be diving into the yellow One Punch Man cards from the new One Punch Man set coming to Union Arena. If you guys don't know, should be releasing on the 28th of February. Well, that's when the release events are going to happen. That's when you can go and buy starter decks. And then on the 7th of March is when the official release is going to happen. But the full sets are out on the official Union Arena website. If you're curious, links in the bio to this website if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and dive into the yellow set here. Looks pretty insane. It's based around Terrible Tornado and Hellish Blizzard for one of the decks, and then you've got Genos and Saitama, almost like a Rush sort of deck. Looks pretty stupid for the other side of yellow. And then if you guys haven't seen, I did post the starter deck breakdown, which is yellow. There are some pretty good starter deck exclusives, which I'll bring up in the video, but definitely go check out the starter deck video if you guys are curious, if you missed that. I should already have the green One Punch Man full set breakdown already posted as well. And then after this, we'll just have to post the red, and then we've got it all up, and then we'll be doing some deck building, and yeah. And then One Punch Man will be out. It's going to be crazy. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this, guys. Starting us out here, we've got Bomb, 0 cost, 1 AP. When played, choose a character on your field. It gains 1,000 BP till the end of the turn. Great active trigger, 3k buff on defense, and you can also restand a character if they're rested. 500 BP, so he's not doing much for attack, but 1 energy generator. So yeah, pretty standard. We've seen that on cards before, and there are going to be a few of these that are in the starter deck, just a heads up, like I believe this one is. There's literally just alternate arts. But again, there are starter deck exclusives that are very, very good. Alright, and then we have the 3 cost, 1 action point bomb. When played, choose up to 1 bomb or silver Fang card on your field. It'll gain impact until the end of the turn. Then he's also got the really good trigger, 3,500. Could be a 4K, but 35 is not bad at all. And then 1 energy. So yeah, being able to give a character impact could be pretty solid for sure. And then we've got King. This is also a starter deck alternate art, just the bounce back 2 generator. So 1 energy, 1 action point, King, hero. When played, return a character on your field with 1 or less to your hand. If you can't, you got to return him. Pretty standard card. You'll see this in almost every set. So and then we got the 0 energy, 1 action point, King. This character cannot attack or block. At the end of your attack phase, you may place this active character at the bottom of your deck. If you do, choose a Saitama card on your field and switch it to active. And we'll skip ahead to the Saitama here in a second to show you guys why that ability is going to be really good. And then we've also got this active main ability, if on the front line, switch to resting. Once per turn, choose up to 1 character on your front line with BP equal to or less than half of this character's BP and switch it to resting. It'll also remain set to resting the next time it would switch to active. So yeah, basically you can sticky rest a 2,500 or less. If they're going into their attack phase, they won't be able to attack, stuff like that. But hopefully there's a way to buff King pretty reliably so that we can target some higher BP characters. He's got a draw trigger, 5k, 1 energy, but again, you're not blocking or attacking with him, so it's more based for this effect. But yeah, so real quick though, tying into this, at the end of your attack phase, you can actually sideline this character or put him in the bottom of your deck, and then restand a Saitama. The reason that's going to be really good is because this Saitama here, he has to attack. You have no choice but to attack with him every turn, and every time you do attack with him, he's forced to not be able to block. He gets a sticky rest himself. So yeah, every time he attacks, you go into your opponent's attack phase with him rested, unfortunately. But you're going to have characters like King, as well as this Genos card here that you're going to see that actually allow you to restand that Saitama in certain situations, so that maybe you can block with a 10k. And also just because again, he's like the core card here. The best part about this character is he cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's abilities. So unless your opponent has a 10k plus snipe character, or unless you hit a special trigger, those are going to be the only ways this character gets removed from the field. So sure, he's not going to be able to block some of the time, but he's never leaving the field. It's going to be kind of insane to see. But yeah, so moving on here, we got 0 energy, 1 action point Genos, add to hand, raid target, because we've got some raid Genoses in the deck. I think it's just the starter deck exclusive that's a raid Genos for this. And then 2 energy, 1 action point Genos. When played, choose one of the following. Look at the top 5 cards, reveal a Saitama, add it to your hand, place the remaining at the bottom of your deck, and then if you took a card, sideline a card. The other option is if you have Saitama on your field, you can literally just draw a card when played. Really solid. And again, we're going to have this Saitama card that can never be removed from the field for the most part. So, yeah. And then we've got our color trigger for yellow, which is one of the best color triggers. But yeah, 3 energy, 1 action point Genos. He's a nullify impactor. If you have Saitama on the field, he's going to be a 4k. And then when he's sidelined, if this character's sidelined due to losing a battle, aka if he gets sniped, aka if you block with him and he goes to the sideline because of it, you get to choose 1 character, switch it to active, aka Saitama, aka a 10k free block. And then if you guys don't know, color yellow trigger is probably the best color trigger, undoubtedly. You choose one character on your opponent's front line, switch to resting. It'll remain set to resting the next time. It would be switched to active, so you get a nice sticky rest on there, out of life, so they have one less character to block with or something. Could be good. Stop an attack as well. Great color trigger. And then, yeah, he's also double energy generator. This is a great color trigger. So good. And then you can raid on top of that card, which is nice. 1 energy, 1 action point, Silver Fang. This is a starter deck alt art. Active main, if on the front line, return 1 character on your field to your hand. If you do, you can actually choose one of the abilities listed below. And you can only use this ability once per turn, no matter how many of these cards you have on the field. Switch this character to active, or this character gains 1500, 3500 BP total till the end of the turn. So essentially, the way I'm looking at this is you can play him. If you have enough characters on the field, return a character to your hand, and now you've played him set to active, essentially. If there's enough, pressure on the board to make it worth it, that could be really good. And then 0 energy, 1 action point, Nullify Impactor Silver Fang. We've got no trigger on this, but he's a 2k, 1 energy generator. Nullify Impact is always really nice to have, so there might be a way to throw... It might not be a bad idea to throw like 2 of these guys in your deck or something, you never know. Especially since we have a raid Silver Fang here. So this guy's a 4 energy, 1 action point. When played, choose up to 1 character on your field. It gains this character, cannot be chosen by your opponent's abilities until the start of your next turn. That's so good. So again, just like Saitama, if this character can only, basically the character that he protects can only be chosen by Snipe, which is not an ability, it's just being targeted for an attack, and then special triggers. Those are the only ways they'll be like removed, So yeah, they can't be removed by your opponent's special abilities and stuff. It's crazy. Anyways, when attacking, if you have 2 or less cards in your hand, draw a card. So yeah, not a bad raid at all. He does have the add to hand raid trigger, so you will not be able to play him off defense, but not a bad thing. Not terrible. But yeah, gonna help you draw cards and stuff too. He's a raid card. Again, it seems like yellow's gonna be like sort of a rush type thing, so the more raid cards, the better. Trying to get as many attacks in as fast as possible. And then we have Terrible Tornado. This is going to be the 0 energy, 1 action point, add to hand, our raid target essentially, because we're going to have raid Terrible Tornadoes. 0 energy, 1 action point, Terrible Tornado. She has Step, which is also really good. Get some early game pressure, but then push back if you need to. Keep your energy line full. 2k, 1 energy generator. Again, no trigger on that. This card looks pretty good. 3 energy, 1 action point. During your turn, if you've used an event card this turn, she's going to become a 4k. So how I see this card, since she's a double generator and a 3k, you're pretty much probably going to have her on the bench for a lot of the game. And then at some point when you're feeling good enough and you're going to play an event card, push her up, and now you've got a 4k attacker. Little does your opponent know. And then, yeah, she's got the active trigger, which is good. So not a bad card. The double generator makes her really good. And then this card is interesting. 2 energy, 1 action point, Terrible Tornado. If on the front line, Hellish Blizzard cards on your field cannot be chosen by your opponent's character or trigger abilities. So yeah, again, a lot of the effects that you'll see just mention abilities off of characters, which does not save them from triggers. But this one right here, if you hit a special out of your opponent's life, Hellish Blizzards cannot die from that special trigger. Pretty crazy. Draw trigger as well, 3k, 1 energy generator. Not bad at all, especially just for costing 2 to play. Terrible Tornado raid card. This is going to be the main card of the deck along with the Hellish Blizzard. During your turn, if you've used an event card during this turn, this character gains impact. So if you can't tell, that's kind of the theme of this deck, trying to spam event cards, and there are definitely some good ones. But again, the best one is like the final and the special. Definitely the final in this deck. Oh man. As you'll see here, active main, if on the front line, reduce the AP cost of the next event card you use from your hand this turn by 1. And again, you can only activate 1 of these once per turn, no matter how many of these Terrible Tornadoes you have. But yeah, essentially what that means is active main, if on the front line, you can play an event card for 0. So you can essentially, at no action points, you can spend 3 action points, use her ability to restand 2 of them, basically having a 5 action point turn. And then as you'll see with other characters, you can bounce back finals with the Hellish Blizzard. That's one of the first combos I think of here. With this Hellish Blizzard, you can sideline 2 cards to bounce back anything that's not a special to your hand. So, you use the final, raid with the Hellish Blizzard, bring that back, and now you've got another final restand. Dude, that is going to be basically, you can string along like a 6, maybe even 7 action point turn or something. Like, that's going to be crazy. Anyways, she's also got the raid add to hand orb raid off of life trigger, 4k, 1 energy generator. Yeah, pretty pretty insane. It seems like you're going to be able to make some big plays with that deck. And then let's see here. We've got Moomin Rider. He's just going to be our double generator if we switch him to resting once per turn, but then he'll be sidelined during the main phase. You know, usable, but I don't think he'll be necessary in this deck because we don't have massive cost cards in yellow. This Saitama looks really cool, an alternate from the starter deck. So this character cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's abilities. No Saitamas can, it seems. If on the front line, at the end of your attack phase, move this character to the energy line. So essentially, again, it's another Saitama that you can attack with, but you will not be able to block with. But a cool part of his ability here, active main, you can sideline one card from your hand, and then you can move this guy to your front line as long as it's not full. As long as there's a slot for him to move into. So yeah, what's cool about that is he's a double energy generator, also great trigger. 10k as all the Saitamas are going to be. So what's cool about that though is, yeah, you can use his energy for throughout the entire turn, trash a card if you can, and now you have him on your attacking line as well. And honestly, I don't hate that he gets moved back at the end of the turn. If on the front line at the end of your attack phase, go back to the energy line, I don't hate that. That keeps him alive. That keeps your energy line full. As long as you have the life to spare and you don't need him, or you don't need to worry about having blockers, that's not a bad thing, low-key. And then the big bad Saitama, One Punch Man himself. Play this card, 5 energy, 2 action point. Play this card set to active onto your field. He has to attack every turn. You have no choice if he's able to. He's a damage 2. This character cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's abilities. W. Active main, once per turn, you can sideline a Saitama card from your hand. And then if you do, this character is going to gain impact until the end of the turn. So you can make him an impact 1 damage 2, securing a life every turn, hopefully. And then when attacking, this character remains set to resting the next time it would be switched to active. Basically, when you attack with him, he has to stay rested during your opponent's turn. But during your opponent's turn, he's available to be restood by any of your abilities. Really good. Add to hand, so if he's in your life, you're still getting him. 10k BP, 1 energy. Yeah, this is a really good looking card. He's never going to leave the field from the looks of it, hopefully. He's always going to be taking a life or 2, pressuring your opponent. Maybe you can even use him on defense sometimes. Yeah, this card looks pretty stupid. That's going to be annoying to deal with. Hellish Blizzard, when played, draw a card, sideline a card. Not bad. We like this on a 0. Draw trigger 1500, especially because this is a raid target for us. Hellish Blizzard, 1 action point, 1 energy. When played, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You can reveal any yellow card with 3 or less energy among them. Add it to your hand, then sideline 1 card from your hand. And then place the remaining cards that you didn't take on the bottom of your deck. And then, if the card that you revealed is an event card, the searched card that you're adding to your hand is an event card, you actually just sideline that event card. So what's really good about that is, again, going to this Hellish Blizzard, you can plan to just grab that final, or the event card, whatever it is, with this Hellish Blizzard, and not sacrifice what you currently have in your hand. Could be really good. Essentially playing off of your sideline, which is always really nice in this game. And again, you're getting a body out on the field while doing all this, so I really like search cards that are also a body. No trigger, but we can live with that. Hellish Blizzard, 2 energy, 1 action point. This is going to be our when set to active is going to be a double energy generator. That's interesting. I don't think in Union Arena so far in English, because you'll see this in every set. You'll see this exact card in every single anime, every color. I don't know if any of them have been a raid target. That's kind of insane to have, actually. I'm probably wrong about that. But now I'm really curious, because that's really nice. This card being a raid target is really good. It counts as a double energy generator when it's set to active. Not bad. Hellish Blizzard, 3 energy, 1 action point. There's so many Hellish Blizzard options. During your turn, this is the color trigger, so you have to choose either this or the Genos. If you don't know, you can only have 4 color triggers total in your deck. Anyways, during your turn, if Terrible Tornado's on the front line, this character is going to be a 3k. When played, look at the top card. Well, it gets 1k. When played, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Reveal 1 event card, so you do have to grab an event card with this. Add it to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck. If you added a card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. So your more traditional search card, except you can grab any yellow card with this. That's 3 or less. With this, you have to grab an event card. But then you have to trash a card. So, I don't know. It's not bad. Double energy generator. It's the color trigger. You're going to be running this. It's not bad at all. I do like this search a little bit more, I think. But obviously, in general, this card has more that it's doing, too, with the trigger, with the generator, etc. You're probably going to run both, maybe. And then 4 energy, 1 action point, Hellish Blizzard raid card. So when played, you get to draw 2 cards. Beautiful. Active main, if on the front line, you sideline 2 cards to activate this ability. Once per turn, you can choose one of the following effects. You can either add an event card without the special trigger from your sideline to your hand, or all your cards will gain 1k, which is going to help her because she is a 3k, unfortunately. But it seems like with this deck, what you're trying to do is rest your opponent's cards, sideline them, whatever it may be, so that who cares if we're 4 and 3ks and you have whatever numbers. We're just trying to clear your board and get some free attacks in, especially with some rushing like this. Like I said, 5 to 6 action point turns with her and Terrible Tornado are going to be terrifying. Just watching your opponent do stuff. Oh man, I hope it's not as busted as it sounds, but that's big. That's big. Anyways, not bad at all. Got the raid trigger, which we always love to see. Yeah, one play, draw 2 cards is freaking awesome. And then we've got the card that'll cost 1 less if you're up against a green or a red deck, Eyelashes and Wild Monkey. 3k double energy generator. Again, you'll see this in pretty much every set. 3 energy, 1 action point, the Blizzard Bunch. Play this card set to active onto your field. It's going to be a sight card. Active main, switch to resting. You can only activate this ability if you've used an event card this turn. Every character on your field will gain 1k until the end of the turn. JJK actually had this in blue, the Tokyo Jujutsu High School. Exact same card. Add to hand trigger. Could be good. You're using event cards. Hellish Blizzard needs the 1k buff. If you just have one of these floating around in your deck, I do this with the Yellow Demon Slayer. I just have one of the mansions, the Butterfly Mansion in yellow. If it pops up, it pops up. You know what I mean? It could be good to have. I don't know if I'm investing 2 or even 3 of these in my deck, but I might try to slip one of these in there. You know what I mean? If it pops up and it comes up at a good time, that could be nice. Because again, with these add to hand get triggers, you really can risk just 1 or 2, because if it ends up in life, you're getting it. What sucks about running like 1 or 2 of these is when you only ever see it in life, and then it's just never useful when they don't have any triggers. Anyways, moving on. 2 energy, 1 action point, let's go. Choose 1 character on your front line. It gains 2k until the end of the turn. If the character you chose with this card is a Hellish Blizzard, it'll also gain impact until the end of the turn. So you can force an impact 5k on your Hellish Blizzard with this. This is probably going to be a must run in a lot of them, at least a few of these, with a really good trigger if it does end up in your life. And again, also, I do want to mention with Union Arena, if you are newer or just in general, if you haven't heard this or tried it, having a lot of event cards could be very risky in this game. It's a very body-heavy game, right? I mean, you need characters on the field to generate energy. What I'm getting at here is I've experimented with decks like with purple JJK, where, you know, you're always running your finals, you're always running your specials, so that's 8 event cards, right? In every deck. So with the purple JJK, for example, there's a lot of good event card options, but even just going up to like 14 event cards total, adding like 6 more into it, like basically if you're at like 14 or more event cards, you run this risk of drawing only event cards, and it can really kill your game. So just keep that in mind. From my experience, event cards are great, but if you have too many of them, they can easily make this game unplayable, unfortunately. Anyways, this event card looks really, really good. I like the looks of this one. 2 energy, 1 action point, Esper Sisters. Look at the top, 7 cards of your deck. We love that. Reveal up to 1 Terrible Tornado and up to 1 Hellish Blizzard. Among them, add it to your hand and then place the remaining in the bottom of your deck. Has a draw trigger. You don't have to sideline when you grab these cards. This could be a really good event card to run, a really good searcher. And then we got 3 energy, 1 action point, Hellstorm, another event card. So you do have a lot of event card options for sure. Choose 1 resting character or 1 character with 1500 or less BP on your opponent's front line. Straight up sideline it. That's kind of crazy. Draw trigger as well. I did want to take this moment to mention a really good starter deck exclusive, Terrible Tornado. I thought of this card when I first read that one. I think they'll pair pretty well. 4 energy, 1 action point. This is a starter deck exclusive. I'm 99% sure it's not in the other set right now, in the main set. Active main, if on the front line, once per turn, you can rest any of your characters on your front line that are less than 5k BP, so no problem. And if you do, you can just straight up rest one of your opponent's cards. So if you do end up drawing into that card, let's say, and she's on the front line or something, and you've got like a little weenie, 0 energy on your bench that you can push up, Moomin Rider, I don't know. You could rest him with her ability, and then pop the Hellstorm and kill that rested card. I'm just saying, that's basically a free, that turns it into a free special. Could be really, really, really good. But I'm sure there's other combos with this as well, obviously. Any cards that you can rest, you can combo this in and make it a special wipe, which is pretty wild. Alright, and then we have the starter deck alt art of the Incineration Cannons. Genos' special card, it's pretty generic. Sideline a 3k on your opponent's front line, but if you have Genos, you can sideline a 5k, special trigger. Not bad, just nothing special. 3 energy, 1 action point. Whirling Wind, Flowing Water, Roaring Chi, Rending Skyfist. I think I said that right. Whirling Wind, Flowing Water, Roaring Chi, Rending Skyfist. Something like that. Man, this definitely gives the Demon Slayer card a run for its money. Bow down your head and prosper or whatever. I don't even want to remember it. Anyways, 3 energy, 1 action point. Oh, and this isn't even a special trigger. Oh my god. This card cannot... Oh, you cannot use this card unless you switch 1 active Silver Fang or Bomb on your front line to resting. Ooh, interesting. Choose 1 character with 4K or less on your opponent's front line and sideline it, draw a card. I mean, this isn't a bad card. It's not a special, but it almost plays like one. If you're... You know, if you want to remove an opponent's character and you're willing to rest 2 of your cards, sure, why not? Like, if you're in a turn, I can see this being useful, and if you're in a turn where, well, you're already going to block my attackers anyways. Like, if you know if they rest right now, it's no different from them getting blocked. So let's rest them and kill 1 of your characters. Draw a card as well. The 4K or less BP is going to be good, but it will be interesting if you know there's Saitamas, there's 4500s or something. But 4K, I'm sure there's going to be options. Yeah, no, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Man, resting 2 of your characters though, interesting, and it's not a special. And then we got the special for Hellish Blizzard, Terrible Tornado. Oh, I guess mostly Terrible Tornado. 3 energy, 1 action point, Psychic Power. Choose 1 character with 2K or less on your opponent's front line. Sideline it. But if you have Terrible Tornado on your field, you can add 1K BP to the range of the character you choose with this ability for every event card in your sideline. So if you have 1 event card, choose a 3K. If you have 2 event cards in your sideline, choose a 4K. And I do not believe this card will count itself the turn it's activated, because it's not technically going to be in your sideline until the effect is fully resolved. Correct me if I'm wrong on that in the comments. Very curious. But yeah, I'm 99% sure. Yeah, you do not get to count this card during the turn that you're playing it, because it's not in your sideline yet. But I mean, again, it's all about event cards. You're probably going to be trashing cards like with Hellish Blizzard and stuff. Like, let's be honest, this is probably hitting a 4K most of the time. That is not hard to do at all. So yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. And then we've got the alternate art Restander final for the from the starter deck. Hero. Your hero final card, 3 energy, 1 action point. Choose up to 2 action points, switch it to active. Again, I can't wait to see this played for free so much in the yellow deck. That is going to be annoying as hell. All right, and then we have 3 energy, 1 action point. I merely immobilize them. You can only use 1 I merely immobilize them card once per turn. Choose 1 character on your opponent's front line, switch to resting. But if you have Terrible Tornado and Hellish Blizzard on the front line, you actually sticky rest it instead. So yeah, that could be really good. I definitely like this more as a sticky rest versus comboing it in as... I mean, I guess you could combo it in with Hellstorm, right, if you don't have the right setup on the field yet. But I'm going to assume most of the time you've got Hellish Blizzard and a Terrible Tornado on the front line. I'm going to assume most of the time that's probably happening. But yeah, I merely immobilize them. Not a bad card at all. Could be good, especially with just having a couple because of the trigger. Again, any event cards that have active triggers in them, or any characters, any cards in general, any good triggers, especially the active, is, you know, makes it a lot more valuable to run. But yeah, I believe that is pretty much it for yellow. Let me just double check here. Yeah, no, that's literally it. I don't know why in the green set they slipped these 2 green cards into the red section here. I wonder if these cards are going to be promos or special of some sort. Maybe they're promos in Japan, because that's what they've been doing with some of the other sets. Is they've had promo cards in Japan, but then they just add them to the normal set in English. So I wonder if they're still going to do that in this, and that's why these are over here. But anyways, there's no other cards for yellow. The only other ones that I would check out if I were you guys is the starter deck exclusives. I did a whole video breaking down the starter deck, so definitely go check that out if you're curious. But I will point them out. One Punch Man, amazing event card starter deck exclusive. Saitama's Apartment, starter deck exclusive, but I don't know if it's necessarily one to buy it for. But regardless, the Genos raid card exclusive, Saitama exclusive, and generally with these SRs and probably a card like One Punch, you're only getting 2 per starter deck. So if you want a full play set of 4, keep in mind you'll need 2 starter decks. What else did we see exclusive in here? That's probably, oh, the Terrible Tornado that I mentioned. Very, very good card. But Hellish Blizzard is too. I don't know if this is, I mean, it's a raid target, so this might actually be a very valuable card to have. But that will be a starter deck exclusive, and I believe that's it. Probably this Genos was as well, right? I think like literally from Genos on. No, because Moomin Rider was in the other set, right? In the main set. Either way, there's some good starter deck exclusives. I would definitely pick this deck up for if you guys are planning on playing yellow. And yeah, once again, if you guys are curious, go check out that video. The green breakdown is up, so go check that out. And then I should have the red one up, hopefully by tomorrow. We're gonna see. But yo, much love for everyone hanging out. I really do appreciate you clicking on the video, listening to me yap, hopefully learning the set. I'm assuming you're watching because you want to play the game and you're excited to build some decks. Either way, I do appreciate it. Drop a like and subscribe just to let me know that you guys are enjoying the content. Yeah, man, I love Union Arena, dude. With this One Punch Man release, I'm really excited to see how this shakes stuff up, because this, man, you're doing a lot with these cards. You're doing a lot. Meanwhile, like, some of the other cards, I'm sure the other decks are still going to be good, let's be honest, especially the Rush decks, like from Demon Slayer and JJK and stuff. Either way, very, very, very excited to see One Punch Man join the fight. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!